Good morning, students. This is session number 11 on the chapter Sources of Finance. Now, we are going to start with sources of short term finance for a joint stock company now. So, first of all, it is better you write down, give the heading Sources of short term finance for a joint stock company. Sources of short term finance for a joint stock company. Under it, you just make a list first. Point number 1, small Roman 1 you can write. Public deposits. Number 2, short-term loans from commercial banks. Short-term loans from commercial banks, within brackets, bank credit. Within brackets, bank credit. Number 3, trade credit. Trade credit. Number 4, installment credit. Installment credit. Number 5, factoring. Factoring, within brackets, accounts receivable financing. Accounts receivable financing. Number 6, customer advances. Customer advances. And last of all, number 7, intercorporate deposits. Intercorporate hyphenated. Intercorporate deposits. So these are the 7 major sources of short-term finance for a joint stock company. If a joint stock company wants to borrow funds for a short span of time, maybe 1 year or at the most 1.5 years, so it can borrow such short-term loans from any of these 7 sources. Now let us start discussing these sources one by one. In this session, we are going to discuss the first one, that is public deposits. So next topic, give the topic number and write public deposits, within brackets, fixed deposits. Public deposits, within brackets, fixed deposits. Below it, the subtopics, point number A, meaning of public deposits. Meaning of public deposits, within brackets, page number 58. Please see your book and write down the page number. Then next line, subtopic number B, subtopic number B, advantages of public deposits. Advantages of public deposits, page number 58. You write the page number of your textbook. And number C, the last subtopic, is disadvantages of public deposits. Disadvantages of public deposits, pages 58 to 59 of my textbook. You see your textbook and write down the page numbers. So these are the 3 topics which you have to study under public deposits. So if you get specific questions, you will give specific answers. However, sometimes you may get a short note of 4 marks or 5 marks on public deposits. Then everything has to be written. First of all, you will write the meaning. Then you will discuss at least 3 to 4 advantages, followed by 3 to 4 disadvantages. So first of all, let me give you an idea of what public deposits are. Think from the point of view of a joint stock company, that if a joint stock company wants some funds for a short span of time, 1 year, 1.5 years, 20 months, something of that sort, 6 months. So instead of approaching a commercial bank for such a short-term loan, it can decide to raise that short-term loan directly from the members of the public. It will give an offer to the members of the public that if you keep deposits of money with us in the form of fixed deposits for a span of 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, etc., we will give you a fixed rate of interest on your deposits And this rate of interest will be much higher than the rate of interest which commercial banks offer on fixed deposits. So otherwise, members of the public, common people, are not going to keep their money in the form of deposits, fixed deposits with a company. The rate of interest which is offered on the public deposits by the companies is higher than the rate of interest offered by the commercial banks on fixed deposits. So, what is the meaning of public deposits then? From a company's point of view, whenever a company generates some funds for a short span of time in the form of a loan by way of accepting lump sum amount of money as fixed deposits from the members of the public, it is called public deposits. And on the deposits of money made by the public, kept by the people with the company promises to pay a fixed rate of interest to the deposit holders till the deposits are repaid to them. And this rate of interest offered by the company is quite high is higher than the rate of interest offered by the commercial banks on the fixed deposits. So members of the public, usually you will find that there are people who usually prefer to keep money as fixed deposits with renowned companies, Jensen and Nicholson, ITC, etc., with the intention of earning a higher rate of interest on these deposits. Okay, so that is what public deposits are. So first of all, in your textbook, start marking the meaning. Open the bracket from public deposits and underline it. Public deposits refer to the deposits of money. So this is the meaning of public deposits. Public deposits refer to the deposits of money made by the public with non-banking companies. The deposits have to be kept by the public with such companies which are not in the banking business but in some other lines of business. So public deposits refer to the deposits of money made by the public with non-banking companies. These deposits represent loans from the public. From the company's point of view, these deposits represent loans from the public, including employees and shareholders of the company. A company can also raise public deposits from its own shareholders and employees. The system of public deposits originated when banks were not, this is not required. You close the bracket after shareholders of the company. Then come down and open the bracket from this sentence. In recent years, this source, that means raising loans by way of deposits from the public, that this source of short-term financing has become quite popular due to various reasons. What are these reasons? Depositors get a higher rate of interest than that available on bank deposits, which I've already told you, that from the depositor's point of view, they find it, rather lucrative in keeping their money in the form of deposits with good companies instead of keeping the money as fixed deposits with a commercial bank, because they get higher rate of interest on the deposits from the company. And at the same point in time, the advantage which the companies derive is that the companies find it cheaper than loans from banks and financial institutions. From the company's point of view, public deposits, is a good source of short-term finance, because the rate of interest which a company has to offer on public deposits to the deposit holders is lesser than the rate of interest on the loans, than the rate of interest charged by the commercial banks on the loans. That means if a company, instead of raising the funds by way of public deposits, generates the loan, takes the loan from a commercial bank, then it would have to pay a higher rate of interest on that loan to the commercial bank compared to the rate of interest which it offers on the public deposits. So therefore, it is good from the company's point of view as well. So close the bracket after this sentence. Companies find it cheaper than loans from banks and financial institutions. close the bracket there. So this much is the meaning of public deposits. Now let us discuss the advantages of public deposits as a source of short-term finance for a joint stock company. Open the bracket from the next line. As a source of finance, please write there as a source of short-term finance, short-term hyphenated. As a source of short-term finance, public deposits offer the following advantages. Number one, economical, cheaper. The interest payable, which we just discussed, the interest payable on public deposits by the company is lower than the interest charged by banks and specialized financial institutions. Interest paid on deposits is a deductible expense for income tax purposes. Not only the rate of interest which a company has to pay on public deposits to the deposit holders is much lower than the rate of interest charged by the commercial banks on the loans, but at the same point in time, whatever amount of interest the company is paying on these public deposits every year, it is considered as a deductible expense from the profits of the company for calculating the income tax to be paid for that particular year. That means from the net profits of the company, the interest on public deposits paid by the company will be deducted, and on the remaining amount of profit, the company will have to calculate and pay the amount of income tax. Number two, it is a simple source of finance. Simple. Administrative cost of deposits is lower than that involved in the issue of shares and debentures. When a company generates funds by issuing shares and debentures, a lot of other additional and incidental expenses are involved. So such expenses are not there in case of public deposits. The procedure of inviting public deposits is also very simple and less formalities are required to be complied with. Number three, trading on equity. Number of times I have told you regarding the benefit of trading on equity. So if a company generates some amount of funds by way of public deposits and its capital structure remains flexible, the company can calculate the amount of short-term finance required, okay, and keep on raising public deposits from the market, raising deposits from the market, okay, for 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, 1 year, according to its fund requirements, and repay those amounts as soon as the requirements are over, and keep the capital structure flexible in order to derive the benefit of trading on equity, which will ensure payment of maximum rate of dividend for the equity shareholders. Then number four, no charge on assets is a vital advantage from the company's point of view, that when a company raises funds by way of public deposits, most of the times it does not offer any asset as security or as a mortgage against such deposits. So you can say that from the deposit holder's point of view, it is quite a risky source of investment, risky area of investment, because most of the times a company does not provide any security or any mortgage in the form of any assets at the time of generating these deposits from the market. So no charge on assets. The public deposits generally do not involve a charge on the assets of the company. The company can use its assets as security to borrow from other sources. The public deposits can not only be generated for a short term. If required, the company can also accept deposits for a medium term also, say 3 years, 2 years, like that. The company can borrow funds from a wider public through public deposits. It did not depend upon a single financial institution. That is also very important. If a company, instead of borrowing funds by way of public deposits, if it decides to take that amount of loan from a particular commercial bank, then what is happening? The company is becoming heavily dependent on a particular commercial bank, on a particular institution. But instead of that, if it generates the funds by way of public deposits, take loans by way of public deposits, it is not becoming independent on a particular deposit holder. The deposits are coming from a large number of people in the market. So that is a very vital advantage of public deposits, that a company can borrow funds from a wider range of public through public deposits Therefore, it does not have to depend upon a single financial institution. Funds are available for a longer period than bank loans. Okay, if required, the company can also raise deposits from the public for a medium term, a longer period than short term bank loans. Flexibility. Public deposits introduce flexibility in the financial structure of the company. There is no danger of overcapitalization, and the deposits can be repaid when they are not required. As long as the purpose of generating the funds, generating the deposits is over, immediately the principal amount will be repaid to the deposit holders. And there will be no danger of overcapitalization. No interference. Companies, when they are raising deposits of money from the public, the deposit holders are not given any voting right, any convertibility right, nothing of that sort. So the management remains in the control of the present board of directors. So deposit holders cannot interfere in the management of the company. So there is no dilution of shareholders' control because the depositors have no voting rights. They cannot interfere with the internal management of the company. Please close the bracket after point number 7. These many points of advantages will be enough. Last of all, the disadvantages of public deposits. Open the bracket from disadvantages. From the company's point of view, what are the disadvantages it has to face if it generates funds or take a loan by way of public deposits? The method of raising finance through the public deposits suffers from the following disadvantages. Number 1, unreliable, uncertain. The company can make an offer, an appeal to the members of the public, to common people, that yes, please come forward and keep your money in the form of deposits with us. We will pay you a higher rate of interest compared to the rate of interest offered by the banks. But how far the common people are going to pay heed to that appeal, how far they are going to respond to it and start keeping lump sum amount as deposits with the company, there is always an element of doubt regarding that, an element of uncertainty. Okay? It is therefore, new companies, raising short-term finance for public deposits is not at all a good source of finance. It becomes absolutely uncertain. But companies with goodwill, tremendous amount of goodwill, okay, very well established companies, ITC Limited, Hindustan Unilever Limited, Reliance Industries Limited, Jensen and Nicholson Limited. So all these companies, very well established, reputed companies, they find it rather easy because people already have confidence in these companies. They trust these companies because the companies have a very good track record for such a long period of time. So therefore, people will be willing to keep their hard-earned money as deposits with the well-established companies. So public deposits are an uncertain and unreliable source of finance. The depositors may not respond when the conditions in the economy are uncertain, like the condition of economy which we are passing through at present. So in such situations which can prevail in an economy, no people would like to keep their money with a company and take that amount of risk, because the companies usually do not provide any security against these deposits. Deposits may be withdrawn whenever the depositors feel the company is in a shaky position. And if the deposits are raised by a company, say for a period of 1 year, it does not mean a deposit holder will have to keep the money with the company for that 1 year. The moment the depositor feels that the company's position is becoming a bit shaky, okay, so it will not be wise for me to keep the money with the company for the entire 1 year. So in that case, the deposit holder can immediately withdraw the money from the company. Okay. So therefore, public deposits are called fair weather friends. When the companies are performing well, economy is in a good position, then the companies will get respond from the members of the public for raising funds by way of public deposits. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Therefore, it is not advisable to depend upon them for long-term financing. Companies cannot depend upon public deposits as long-term financing. Number two, risk to investors. From an investor's point of view, I told you that keeping money in the form of deposits with a company is very risky, because if the company fails to repay the amount, the depositors will have got nothing to do, because no securities are kept against these deposits. So depositors face high risks as they do not get any security for their investment. Management may use the deposit as it likes. There are chances that unscrupulous management of some companies may use those money generated as public deposits in a wrongful manner for their own personal gains and interests. Not available to new concerns. I told you that a new company, it will not be a wise decision for a new company to rely on public deposits as a short-term source of finance, simply because they will not get much response from the market. So public deposits are generally not advisable to new companies and those with uncertain earnings. It restricts growth on capital market. If companies start taking or start raising funds only by way of public deposits, or a substantial amount of their financial requirements is raised through public deposits only, then the capital market of the stock market, the capital market is going to suffer, because the companies will not come out with substantial issues of shares in the market. So it will restrict the growth of capital market. Widespread use of public deposit restricts the growth of a healthy capital market. It distorts the interest rate pattern and results in the dearth of sound industrial securities. A spurt in public deposits, an increase in public deposits may pose a threat to credit planning and planned priorities of the government. I think these many points of disadvantages will be enough for you. So close the bracket after point number 4. So with this, I conclude my discussion on public deposits. So learn this topic very well as a source of short-term finance for a joint stock company. Thank you.